Hey guys, Mike here with Jeeps on the Run again, and today we're going to talk about the all-new Grand Cherokee L. I want to thank Ray, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We've got a great relationship with them. If you're looking for a new or used vehicle, I got to plug them. Check them out, raycdjr.com. They're nice enough to let me put a couple miles on this brand new vehicle. They've got a bunch of them in stock. This specific one is the limited trim level. I'm going to go over some of the things that I think are nice and point out some of the different changes. Obviously, it's an all-new redesign of the Grand Cherokee. The new look, I love the front end. It's the bold look. Again, this is the limited, so some of these things will be different on the different trim packages, but you got your standard 7-slot grille. You've got your nice sleek headlights. I think this is going to look really nice. It's nice and bold, and I think it's going to kind of tie in with that Wagoneer. It's going to be that same new kind of front end look. So I'm a big fan of the looks from the front. You can still tell it's a Jeep. It's got that traditional brand look to it. So we'll walk around to the side and we'll show you some of the features over there. So the side view, I think they did a really nice job. The wheelbase is long. It doesn't look like it's an afterthought. I think that they sized it very well. It doesn't look too long. It still has an SUV look. It doesn't. Some people, you know, they start doing this third row stuff. It kind of goes into that minivan or van kind of look. I think it's still very bold. It still holds that traditional Grand Cherokee look. And with that increased wheelbase, it rides really, really nice. And you don't have, again, it doesn't just look stretched on the back. The whole length of the vehicle has been stretched to accommodate for that third row. So they did a really nice job. The chrome accents are nice. One thing I think is super cool, so he says Grand Cherokee here, obviously, and then we've got this flag. And what Jeep is doing now on all of their line from here forward, they are going to be sporting these flags. And Jeep was awarded, I believe it was the most patriotic between its customers and between the heritage of the vehicle. So super cool. I think that they're just kind of tying that in. I think that's super classy. So we'll step around to the back and I'll show you some of the features there. So here's inside the back. I think it's an impressive amount of storage space behind the third row seat. Kind of reminds me of the older Tahoes and that sort of thing. If you had that third row seat, you really were limited to having any kind of real storage space behind that third row. With this third row seat in, you could certainly get luggage back here. You could get suitcases, you know, smaller suitcases, bags. So it's nice. You could have your third row being used and still have some significant storage. Under here, this is actually pretty deep. You could put jumper cables or, you know, other things that you may want to keep in the vehicle in there. This does have the power lift gate. This model does not have the power seats. So not that it's hard. They easily, and if they fold nice and flat. So if you're not using that third row, these fold flat. The second row on this one is captain seats, which they all are, but those will also fold flat into this same plane of this too. So if you want to load something in, you've got one nice plane surface there. So one thing I'll point out is they've really appointed this thing with a lot of different power outlets. You got a 12-volt outlet here. Both sides here, you've got USB and USB-C outlets. And the other thing you'll notice for the third row is up in the A-pillars in the back here, you've also got vents for the people in the third row seat, which I think is super nice. On a lot of these vehicles with third rows, they forget about that HVAC for the back people, which I think is awesome. The other thing which we'll show you is they kept some Easter eggs, which I've noticed. On this side, we've got an old Willys Jeep, and here we've got a couple silhouettes of the Grand Cherokee in the glass. So thanks, Jeep, for keeping the Easter eggs going, and we'll kind of work our way forward, and we'll show you the inside. So inside, again, this is the second row captain seating. They've got one lever here. You just lift up forward. This tilts forward and slides forward. Easy access to get to the back without having to climb over the seats or what have you. Easy also to put back. The other cool thing about this seat is it does move forward and back. So depending on if you have adults in the back or kids in the back or whatever your arrangement is, you can really adjust this seat to the comfort. Now I'm a little over 6 foot, and for me, this seat's all the way back right now. It still does have enough leg room in the back for kids. This seat is pretty far back as front as well. But even so, even moved forward, you know, they've got this kind of bolstered area inside the seat here, which definitely helps with legroom. So the legroom in the back of this is actually quite good. If you come in here, you'll see we've got USB-Cs, we've got USBs, we've got chargers, we've got outlets. So again, no shortage of plugs for your devices, your screens or what have you. Here you've got your heated seats in the back, and then the rear passengers also have different modes for the HVAC, heat and cooled, and this will control the vents behind the driver's seats. Now again, if you look up here, they didn't forget about the rear passengers in the back. You've got vents here that you can turn on and off. And these you can actually aim very well at you, as well as these ones in the middle of the center console. You can aim those at you or in the back. So the HVAC heating and cooling system for the rear passengers, I think, was really well thought out. I feel like a lot of vehicles, specifically for the third row, it's just kind of, well, you get what you get as far as airflow goes, but there are actually vents back there, and I did drive it. It was hot today, 90-some degrees today, and the rear passengers, I sat here in the back as a passenger, and it was quite comfortable. So we'll move forward, and we'll show you up front. Before that, though, I do want to show you, if you fold this seat flat, you do have one surface from the back all the way up to here. That is pretty much the same level if you wanted to add cargo or what have you. So here we are looking forward at the dash and the console and everything. You've got your memory seats over here. It'll store your seats and your mirror positions. You've got your standard one-touch auto windows and your locks and everything as you'd imagine, and your mirrors in the door. The steering wheel, I think, is really nice. It gives you an easy place to hold. You put your hand in the middle. You've got your paddle shifters. You've got your volume controls. All those standard things that you would kind of imagine. The dash is actually super cool. It's very customizable. You can change to have a gamut of displays. You've got everything from your miles per gallon, your tire pressure. It'll tell you your distance to the car in front of you, your XM, and even the angle of the vehicle's at if you're off-road, all on one screen, as well as your miles per hour. This you can change each one of these to do something different. The dash is truly customizable to whatever fits your needs. You've got different modes. 4-wheel drive, it'll tell you, what automatic mode what mode you're in, be it automatic, snow, sport, etc. To angle the vehicle. Again, these are all fully customizable. You can change this to be an analog display versus fully digital. Everything there you can change to whatever features make sense to you. Here you've got your auto start, your active lane management, traction control, park assist, all those features you can turn on and off. Now this display is super cool. If you're familiar with the Ram vehicles, it does share a lot of that same technology. Each one of these little, I guess I'd call them widgets. So if you want to change, this widget for XM to be something else, you can move it around. If you want this to be here, so it's very customizable to whatever you want. Now I've got phone, so you can change this to your liking. One thing I do like about this is that so many vehicles, they make everything so electric heavy. You still have normal buttons without going into the screen. You can change your fan for your HVAC. You can change your temperature for passenger and driver, as well as your heated seats for passenger and driver. Now this one, being the Limited, doesn't have cooled seats and some other features, which we know, there'll be different buttons here and so forth. So again, you'll have your connections, you have auxiliary, the media, everything is all controlled through here. Another 12-volt port. Looking here, you've got your sand, snow, auto, sport. Again, they're all automatic. Obviously, it adapts to the road conditions. It does what makes the most sense for the condition. I will say, if you go into sport mode, you will notice the transmission shifts a little differently. You'll notice the steering wheel tightens up. The suspension feels a little tighter. It definitely gives that more sporty feel. This closes like that, and then same here. So my initial thought of this, I think this is really slick. I think this looks really nice. The only downside I personally see is you might be able to already see there's fingerprints on here. you know how to open it, you're just going to touch the silver. But I see the fingerprints and this bright, shiny plastic, if you will, this finish looks like something that might be easily scratched. So that may be a downside in the future. But again, I'm really nitpicking. Fit finish, you know, they've got all this trim here. They've got the leather, stitched leather in the dash. This wood, I again realize it's not real, but they did a real nice job with it. It wraps around on the doors. Little things, you know, like this bezel here around the start stop button, you know, the transmission shift lever, it all feels very nice and it feels very quality. So those little features, I think that Jeep put a little extra time and money into, the things that you touch every time you get in your car, I think landed well. The key they did a real nice job with. It says Jeep on it. It's very simple. If you're familiar with the Wrangler key, it just feels bulky and heavy and very plasticky. This key, it's very simple. It's got the features it needs, but it just, I think it's classy. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Just feels nicely made, you know. And then you've got, in the event of a lockout or malfunction, you can actually get in with the standard key. But even the key feels nice. I think they did a nice job with it, and it, I don't know, almost looks a little vintage, but I like it. So also on this screen, you'll notice the backup camera, and the screen is huge. And the backup camera, the quality of that is just insane. You know, it's like HD TV. And I know I talked about it earlier, but if you had a trailer hitch here and you were backing up to a trailer, if you push that plus button, you'll be able to put the ball in the hitch right where it needs to be. I mean, and it's like, again, it's like HD TV on this thing looking backwards. So this one is the limited trim level, so it's not totally loaded, but even at the sticker price of about $52,000, it's fully wrapped in leather. You've obviously got the third row, and you've got a ton of great features on this vehicle. Trailer hitch, LED headlights. So overall, I would say the vehicle drives really, really well. That extra wheelbase really makes it feel planted on the road, and it's very smooth. This with the V6 motor still has plenty of power, plenty of pickup. If you didn't know, I'm a big guy that I'm always the one to buy the more power, the bigger engine. This one I would be happy with the 6-cylinder in this vehicle. It's plenty of power, even for the weight and extra size of the vehicle. They did a really nice job. The V6 motor in this is proven. It's been in the other vehicles, it's been in the other Grand Cherokees, it's been in Wranglers. So nice job. Overall, I think they did a really nice job with this Jeep. So nice job to Jeep. Thank you for Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for letting me take the Jeep out for some miles. And again, if you're interested in one of these, certainly reach out to them. Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fox Lake, and give their Facebook page a like as well. So thanks for watching, and as always, give me a like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.